Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, beautiful soul family, and welcome to Weekly Wisdom and Insights, your home for spiritually guided transformation and empowerment. I am your host, Dearjames, and together with the unseen, Spirit, Source, and Symphony, we look at the current energies, the intuitive wisdom and insights, and we go as guided. And we are dealing with the full moon total lunar eclipse in Virgo that just occurred yesterday on March 3rd, 3/3/2026 at 3:33 a.m. Pacific time. So we are working with these incredibly beautiful energies. Full moon, total lunar eclipse in Virgo. And let's jump in and see what's cooking because there is a lot to cover. So our main energies, it's March, so it's difficult beginnings, persevere. 4, youthful folly, try again. It's a 1 year, it's a 10-year, which is a 1 year. Welcome, Kiki, the creative, to initiate. And it's 8, uniting, unite, holding together. And so we have these energies playing, but also we have this beautiful, let me just bring up the chart here. Here's this beautiful astrological chart. Welcome, Olivia, for the full moon total lunar eclipse that occurred in Virgo yesterday on the 3rd of March. And you can see at the top of the chart this stellium of planets. We have Mars, the ascendant, the north node, the sun, Mercury retrograde, and Venus, all in Pisces. Why? And the opposing the moon and the south node. So this, when an eclipse occurs close to either the north node or the south node, it is karmic, and it is fated, destiny, and it is for the collective. It will impact us individually, of course, but it's also karmic and collective. The south node is about what we're releasing. And so what's amazing is that stellium of planets in Pisces is speaking to this final release. Pisces is the last sign of the astrological year of the wheel. It's all the personal planets and conjunct the north node, where we're going, before they enter Aries. It's coming up in latter March, early April. They're all going to be in Aries, the first sign of the zodiac, fire. So this is a culmination point, and you'll see how this is working out. And let me the planet Mars, it just entered Pisces. It's at 0 degrees Pisces. So the Sabian symbol is 1 degree Pisces. And it's in a crowded marketplace. Farmers and middlemen display a great variety of products. Its keynote is the process of commingling and interchange, which at all levels demonstrates the health of a community. In any 12-fold division of a complete cycle, for instance, the 12 zodiacal signs and the 12 houses of a birth chart, the 12th section often has been given a negative significance. It can refer to oppressive conditions as it represents a, quote, closing of accounts, a final evaluation of the harvest of the cycle. A very bad harvest may lead to a bankruptcy. A premature revolt may bring the rebel to jail. The dissolute may end in a hospital. In this section of the cycle, a person reaps what they have sown. But it may also be honors, social prestige, the interests of well-managed wealth. You'll see how this latter part ties into the Six of Wands coming up. In this 24th scene, what is stressed is the coming together in a final experience of community or unity, 8, unity, of all factors previously experienced. This means constructive interaction and an interchange of products or ideas of social activity. In a practical sense, the symbol, whenever it is found, emphasizes that the time has come to take full advantage of the social opportunities to bargain and trade. The symbol represents commerce. So we're seeing this culmination. You're going to see this in the astrology, in the messages from the unseen, in all of these planets. I'm just going to bring it back up again. All of these planets in Pisces, and there's Mars at 0 degrees. It's just entered. This month and this moment is about this culmination, because you see, it's Mars, it's the Sun, it's Mercury retrograde, it's Venus. Those are all the personal planets before they enter Aries, where Neptune and Saturn already are, and Chiron, the wounded healer. So all of those personal planets are going to move forward, welcome Alicia, into the first house. So we're clearing out or reaping what we sow, and this closing of accounts. Now, when I looked at the chart, as you know, I read it intuitively, and what I heard, which I've never heard this, I mean, I've heard this, but not in the way the unseen intended it. And all I heard was kite formation. So the astrological chart for the full moon total lunar eclipse in Virgo, and they said kite formation. And of course, in astrology, there is an aspect known as a kite formation, but this is not what the unseen is speaking about. What they're speaking about is this. In cultural and spiritual symbolism, historically, kite flying was a sacred act across many traditions. Kites served as conduits to the divine, symbolizing prayers reaching heaven, connections to ancestors, the soul's resurrection, or protection against evil spirits. In ancient Egypt, the kite has 2 distinct meanings depending on whether it refers to the bird, the mythological symbol, or the archaeological structure, the desert kite. In Egyptian mythology, the kite, a bird of prey with a shrill cry, was closely associated with mourning, protection, and the resurrection of the dead. Isis and Nephthys, the goddess Isis and her sister, were often represented as kites, or accompanied by professional female mourners called kites of Nephthys. In the myth of Osiris, Iris transformed herself into a kite to hover over her murdered husband's body, fanning life into him with her wings. Due to their piercing, crying calls, the birds represented the wailing of mourners at funerals. They were believed to guard the mummy and remove the ill or poison from the deceased, helping them transition to the afterlife. Scenes in tombs often show these, quote, 2 kites, 2 goddesses, at the head and foot of the mummy to ensure resurrection. This full moon total lunar eclipse in Virgo, conjunct the South Node, is about our resurrection, the releasing of the past, letting go of the old, the poisons, the ill, that goo that we've been talking about for so many episodes, and how we empty our vessel, we hone and polish our stone, we make space for the new, so that in our resurrected newness, our journey or our deliverance is assured. And so we have this kite formation that's associated. It's not the typical astrological kite. This is an ancient wisdom, ancient kite. We're going back to ancient Egypt, Isis and her sister Nephthys. And so, and this guarding, this ensuring our safe passage, but it's ensuring our resurrection and how we're responsible to let go of the old, to make room and space for the new, to receive it. Because if we don't let go, there's no room or space. And it doesn't matter what it is, a person, a place, a thing, whatever it might be, clothing or whatever it might be. If we don't, pay it forward, make space and room, we can't receive the new. And so this is where we are with all of this. I want to move into, this is our main theme, transformation, the light at the end of the tunnel. And because this is, of course, what the kite, the Isis and Nephthys are conveying and speaking to. And so here we are, transformation, the light at the end of the tunnel. So spiritual transformation is a profound, fundamental shift in an individual's relationship with the sacred, their core beliefs, and their sense of self. It involves moving from a lower, ego-driven state to a higher, more conscious and loving state. This process often results in increased peace, purpose, and inner lasting change. So where you may have been struggling, we are struggling in this moment because the old is collapsing, the new is rising. It's kind of a cluster, welcome calling at the moment. And so we're looking for increased peace, purpose, and this inner lasting change. We're yearning for it. I don't know about all of you, yearning for this higher octave, for the purity of it, the peace of it, the opportunity, the magic of it. And so here we are, spiritual transformation. It brings a shift in focus, a change in the perception of the sacred, or a reevaluation of what is most important in life. Moving from a state of unconsciousness or ego-driven living to a more awake, aware, and intentional existence. This is where the rubber meets the road. It's go time, and how we can move from these lower octaves to a higher octave. And when we do that, it elevates our consciousness and it lifts us into intentional existence. It's a transformation in action, often manifesting as increased love, compassion, and alignment with spiritual truths or divine principles. A turning around or inner renewal of the heart, mind, and soul, often leading to a new, more profound sense of purpose. If you've been in a place of a closed heart, the walls are up, the drawbridge is up, and this, kind of closed off. Well, this is a renewal of the heart. It's safe to step out, to step up, to shine your light. We're not meant to hide our light under a bushel basket any longer. We are meant to authentically radiate our inner light. It can act as a catalyst. These shifts can be prompted by trauma, major life changes, or a deliberate, ongoing pursuit of growth. When we're constantly willing to look at ourselves, to keep honing and polishing our stone and emptying our vessel, it shifts us. It's this deliberate, ongoing pursuit of growth, which leads to happiness, consciousness. It is often described as a journey from the muddy waters of the ego toward a more sky-like expansion of consciousness. So this is transformation. And then we have light at the end of the tunnel. This phrase spiritually symbolizes hope, divine guidance, and the promise of a brighter future. It serves as a reminder that current hardships are temporary obstacles rather than permanent states, encouraging perseverance and faith during challenging periods of life. We're in it. We're in the major transition. We're at the threshold. Look at all those planets, those interpersonal planets. In the final house, Pisces, the 12th, in the 12th house, sign of Pisces, that tabulation, reaping what we sow before we begin anew. And so it speaks to the light at the end of the tunnel, speaks to hope and persistence. In general spiritual terms, the tunnel represents a season of darkness, adversity, or spiritual testing. The light is the manifestation of hope, an assurance that progress is being made and that resolution or spiritual growth is ahead. Many faith traditions view this light as the presence or guidance of the divine. For Christians, it often represents Master Jesus, the light of the world, offering comfort and a path through suffering. It signifies that no trial is so deep that it cannot be overcome with faith. In the context of death, the light is frequently described as a welcoming emanation from the Creator or a guide, signaling a peaceful transition into the afterlife or a return to the source of being. Ultimately, this metaphor, the light at the end of the tunnel, encourages you to maintain your focus, trust in the journey, and remain open to the lessons and personal development that occur even when the destination is not fully visible. What we all know, what I certainly know, what the unseen is speaking to and has been from the very beginning of the Weekly Wisdom and Insights journey, it's speaking about a return to the divine feminine, to the divine mother. It's speaking to our elevation to a whole new world, a whole new way, this higher octave. And so while it may not yet be fully visible, there's a knowing that it's present. The old is collapsing. It's collapsing in just the height of the goo, the shadow of the patriarchal divine masculine. It's doing so that we all, regardless of gender, that doesn't matter. Divine feminine, divine masculine is within all of us. It's so that we will see that. Where have we contributed to that? Our thoughts, our words, our deeds, our actions, our relationships, whatever it may be. Where have we contributed to that goo? Where are we own, atone, releasing it? Where do we own it, atone for it, release it? Where do we hone and polish? Where do we empty our vessel to purify, to make room for the new? So that we are all, welcome Alicia, so that we are all, in that sense, resurrected, assured of our deliverance into this new era that's right before us. You see all those personal planets. Just going to bring it back up again really quickly. They're all in the final sign of the zodiac, closing out the accounts to begin anew. So, transformation, the light at the end of the tunnel. Now we move to number 1 from the unseen. And they said, strength and the magician. So here's an image of the strength card in the tarot. It's the woman taming the lion, the sun radiating. In the typical or traditional tarot, there is an infinity symbol over the head of the lion. This is Luminous Tarot by Brigitte Ashwood. So, but in essence, it's about taming. So here's divine feminine, taming those primal forces within us. So we've got strength, and then we've got the magician. And there's the infinity symbol above the head of the magician. We have everything we need to meet this moment, to not just exist, but thrive. Kiki is saying, I'm losing hope and faith. Every week the messages seem to be wait or almost. Well, here's the issue, Kiki, and thank you for bringing this up. So there is divine time, divine will, divine order, and the human, our ego, mind, personality human, gets frustrated, gets impatient. We kind of get sucked into what's happening in our social media threads and on the news and all of this stuff. And it does feel like there's this ever elusive somewhere out there, to your point, wait or almost. And I'm right there with you. The human in me at times goes, oh, and yet when we suspend that for a moment and we're in the present now and we listen to our soul, the soul will keep us out of that frustration, out of that lack, out of that irritation. And it will present us with active or, what to do or not to do. But it's very peaceful, and it will say to us, take the next step, take the next step, take the next step. When we do that, our focus, our energy isn't focused on what hasn't come yet. Our energy is centered and focused on the next step before us. So all of a sudden it shifts our energy. It lightens us, and it keeps us aligned so that when it arrives, we're right on time, and we can look with hindsight and go, wow, because you can spend whatever that time is in irritation, frustration, lack, resentment, anger. Those are all shadow elements. Or you can say, I have a knowing, it will arrive. Let me stay in alignment with a proactive, positive energy that allows me to move forward. And that can be, like we said, cleaning house, purging our belongings, honing, polishing our stone, taking the necessary step to move ourselves forward. It can be the simplest thing that keeps us aligned. The magician, so strength and the magician, it's easier than it looks. Extraordinary rebirth and renewal. And this goes back to the kite formation with Isis and her sister Nephthys. So strength and the magician, it's easier than it looks. Extraordinary rebirth, renewal. So the magician, strength and the magician are powerfully linked through their shared mastery of energy and the infinity symbol hovering above their heads. While the magician represents the conscious manifestation of willpower and external skills, strength symbolizes the internal fortitude, the patience, and the emotional balance needed to tame one's primal nature. This is exactly what what she just brought up and what we were just speaking to. Because it's when we tame those, that primal nature, the ego, mind, personality, human, that gets frustrated and irritated. We're in balance and harmony, the infinity symbol. The infinity symbol, both cards prominently feature this symbol, representing the infinite flow of energy, spiritual potential, and the connection between the as above, so below principle. It's reminding us of our soul source connection. Stay in that lane. To get outside of it, it's chaos. There's already enough chaos in the world going on. We don't need to add to it. So we can stay in this lane of as above, so below, divine connectivity, divine will, divine order. The magician, it's about conscious will. The magician is the archetype of the active, creative mind. He masters the tools of his environment to turn ideas into reality, emphasizing focus, skill, and conscious manifestation. Strength is the subconscious mastery. She represents the female side of magic, the power of the subconscious and intuition. Her strength is not brute force, but the gentle, persistent courage required to align one's animal instincts with higher wisdom. So this isn't going low, it's going high. It's not staying in the octave where we've been, it's ascending to the octave before us, this higher octave. They are complementary forces. Together, they represent a complete toolkit for success. The magician provides the vision and outward action. It's the divine masculine, the creative force. While strength provides the inner resilience and emotional intelligence, divine feminine, to sustain the action over time. So in other words, it's not a one-hit wonder. It's not something, it doesn't just burn out. This is playing the long game. This is chess, not checkers. In a reading, seeing these cards together often suggests that you possess both the external tools and the internal character required to achieve your goals, provided you balance your drive with patience and compassion. So this is to love the process. Again, going back to what Kiki shared, this is about becoming okay with the process. And when we stay in the lane of consciousness, of our soul source connection, our connectedness, we're not distracted, we're not frustrated, we're not irritated. We exhale, we have peace, and we say, okay, show me the next step before me. Because it's far too easy to fall into the lower octave or into that primal energy. And then we can't hear. Then we get lost, distracted. We go off on detours, or we fall down the rabbit hole. That's not productive. I mean, everything's purposeful, but there's a better way forward. So strength in the magician, it's easier than it looks. Extraordinary rebirth, renewal, and that kite formation. Well, it leads to number 2, which is the 6 of Wands. And the number 2 from the unseen, 6 of Wands. Homecoming, victory, celebration at long last. The 6 of Wands in the tarot is about homecoming, victory, celebration at long last. That homecoming can be both external, literal and external. It can also be internal, how you have consciously come back home to your soul source connection, to your divinity, to the divine. That's a worthy homecoming that's worthy of victory and celebration. At long last, it's been a journey. And this takes us to our key word, which is endurance. And you see this beautiful golden wheat field, and how endurance is the ability to withstand hardship or adversity, especially the ability to sustain a prolonged, stressful, difficult process or situation without giving up. Again, Kiki's comments could not be more on point here, because see, it's about the withstanding the hardship or the adversity, especially when it's sustained and prolonged and stressful. This difficult process or situation without giving way or giving up. Endurance is the ability or strength to continue or endure, especially despite fatigue, stress, or other adverse conditions. It's the power to withstand something challenging. We're living in extraordinary times. To Kiki's point, it always seems elusive, this future that we're speaking about, that we're looking for. And yet, when we embody it, when we live and breathe it in the moment, when we stay aligned with it, in harmony with it, and we multiply that out, that light ripples out. And your light touches another person's light, touches another person's light, it ripples. And all of a sudden, we hit the tipping point. All of a sudden, as above, so below, we're divine order and human order, divine will and human will. They come together, they merge, they're one and the same. It's just that we shift the tipping point, that we align with divine will, divine order, divine time, and it ushers in the new. We're right on time. That's the golden ticket, the golden train. It's only when we're staying outside of that, in the lower octaves, that we're on the train that's come into the station that's ending. It's over. And so there's this choice point. It brings us to our mantra, which is in the flow. And it's number 3 from the unseen. In the flow, I receive my upgrade. And then they said, hands down, we made it through the rain. That's a song by Barry Manilow. So they're saying, in the flow, I received my upgrade. Hands down, we made it through the rain. And then the Tower card. So let's break these down. In the flow is a spiritual state of total alignment, presence, and ease, where your body, mind, and soul operate as one, often described as, quote, being in the zone. It represents surrendering in the present moment, releasing ego-driven resistance, and trusting the natural unfolding rhythm of life. This is about trusting the unseen, divine will, divine time, divine order. It's about letting go of the need to control every outcome and trusting that the universe or a higher power is supporting you. It's about acting from a place of love and inspiration rather than force. That's the strength card. It's that taming the primal force. Masking tasks feel natural, making tasks feel natural and energizing. It's about being fully engaged in the now, which often leads to a loss of time perception. See, we stay out of the chaos because we're in the now. It's a feeling of connection to everything, where the senses of separation dissolve. It's about making decisions by tapping into your inner guidance rather than solely relying on strategy or ego, mind, personality, human. Being in the flow means accepting what comes and navigating life with adaptability rather than resistance. Kiki is saying, flow is my word of the year. There we go. There's the unseen and synchronicity with you, Kiki, and how you brought up something so powerful that's so intricately woven into the messages of this week's show, of these full moon, total lunar eclipse in Virgo energies, and what we're meant to release. We're meant to release that frustration, that irritation, that trying to make things perfect. So the imperfection. It's perfection in the imperfection. It's to see things and be in the now, be in the flow. In the flow, I receive my upgrade. Hands down, we made it through the rain. And when we live in the flow, we are moving toward being the full human beings the divine made us to be. We hear God's voice by listening to our life, our heart's desires, our gifts, by opening our hearts and our hopes and dreams. It's about being in alignment with that. We made it through the rain. So I made it through the rain. You made it through the rain. We made it through the rain. I Made It Through the Rain is a famously recorded song by Barry Manilow from 1980. It's an uplifting anthem of resilience, triumph over adversity, and personal perseverance. It's endurance. The lyrics, rewritten from a song about a struggling musician, focus on an ordinary person overcoming life's emotional storms, heartbreak, and doubts to emerge stronger, wiser, and standing tall. The rain symbolizes life's hardships, struggles, and emotional pain. Making it through signifies overcoming these obstacles. The lyrics express a sense of camaraderie with others who have also faced difficult times. See, when our lights touch one another, when we're radiating, and that's felt, it ripples out. It's an endless ripple of light. And so it's about this camaraderie with others who have also faced difficult time, respected by others who got rained on too and made it through. The song highlights finding inner strength and self-respect after surviving tough times. It is a message that despite feeling like a storm is endless, holding on to hope allows one to reach the other side. The song is often interpreted as a hymn of hope for anyone navigating personal hardships. So the unseen is saying, in the flow, I receive my upgrade. Hands down, we made it through the rain. And we have the Tower card. And the first verse of the song is, we dreamers have our ways of facing rainy days, and somehow we survive. We keep the feelings warm, protect them from the storm until our time arrives. Then one day the sun appears, and when we come shining through those lonely years, I made it through the rain. I kept my world protected. I made it through the rain. I kept my point of view. I made it through the rain and found myself respected by the others who got rained on too and made it through. So there's a resurrection, triumph, resilience, endurance, making it through, that we make it. The Tower card. So now let's look quickly. I want to bring up the image of the Tower card. And the Tower, again, everybody shudders in a tarot reading when they see the Tower, because typically it signifies sudden radical change, upheaval, and the breaking down of illusions or false structures in one's life. It's often considered a frightening card. It represents necessary divine intervention to remove outdated beliefs, relationships, or situations. Key symbols include the lightning striking the Tower, representing a flash of truth and a sudden rude awakening. We've talked about this a lot. The Tower represents, yes, it can be the cosmic 2x4. When we're hearing, there's a knowing, but we're not listening, or we're avoiding, or we're procrastinating. We are not in the flow. We're swimming against the flow, against the grain, against the river. But the positive aspect of the Tower, it can be shocking, but it can be revelatory. It can be amazing. It can be the breakthrough, not the breakdown. And so this is what they're talking about. In the flow, I receive my upgrade. Hands down, we made it through the rain. The Tower. That Tower is the catapult. It's the breakthrough. It's the liberation from the past. It's that quantum leap, or that leap of faith. It's only the cosmic 2x4 Tower when you're not in the flow. When you know, but you're not listening. You're not aligning with the flow of divine order, because these are fated. South Node, full moon, total lunar eclipse. It is about releasing the past, releasing the old to receive the new. Are you in the flow of that energy, or are you resisting, procrastinating, rejecting? Well, then, of course, as above, so below. You get the yellow lights, you get the whispers, it gets louder, louder, until the cosmic 2x4 comes out and just goes whack and knocks the crud out of you. You'll only choose that option once. You'll choose it one time. It's not fun, it's not pretty, it's purposeful, but it's not necessary, because the choice can simply be surrender to your soul source, connection to the divine, to the knowing. They're guiding you, true north. And then you get, this catapult, this breakthrough, this quantum leap of deliverance. It's a choice. Number 4 from the unseen. Revealing what's been hidden brings clarity. Compliments of the unseen. It's number 4. It's foundational. So revealing what's been hidden brings clarity. There's a lot that's going to be, all these interpersonal planets are in Pisces, in the last house, this culminating of accounts and everything. And so a lot is going to be revealed. It's going to be brought in to the light, which will reveal clarity. So individually, collectively. Compliments of the unseen, because we're moving forward. That's a fait accompli. That's c'est tout fini, as they say in French. It's a done deal. So are we in the flow with it? Or, as we're seeing, are we in the resistance, cleaving, trying to hang on? But there's a higher power. It's like Mother Nature. You can build the strongest foundations, the greatest, seismic calculations and codes and engineering, and the force of the unseen, of Mother Nature, can wipe it off the map in a nanosecond. That's the same force of the divine, of the unseen, that can shift mountains, move us. That's what's occurring. So now let's jump into some of the astrology here. I want to start with, this is from Lena Stevens at thepowerpath.com. A full moon in Virgo with a total lunar eclipse. Part of the blood moon, it's known as a blood moon. Part of the blood moon cycle of eclipses, this one exposes what needs to be seen. There's revealing what's been hidden brings clarity. That which is hidden comes to light, and a clearer path opens up that may include radical change, necessary endings, and great creativity and inspiration around all the possibilities opening up. It is time for a new story, but first, the old one needs to be complete and the page turned. It's all those planets in Pisces. This moon supports intuition, the endless field of possibilities, and a deeper drop into the heart and what is authentic. It will push you out onto the path of upgrade, whether you are ready or not. That's either the positive aspect of the tower or the negative aspect of the shadow aspect of the tower. So be proactive with this opportunity and decisive with your actions. What have you been procrastinating, neglecting, or putting off? Take responsibility where you need to, own a tone release, listen to your intuitive messages, soul source connection, true north, and strive for balance in all areas of your life. That is the magician, but that's really the strength card, the taming the primal force, so that you're in balance as you execute, as you make decisive decisions. Now let's move to astrobutterfly.com. Speaking about the astrology of March 2026. This is an excerpt. So in March 2026, we are in full swing of eclipse season. On March 3rd, we have a total lunar eclipse in Virgo, bringing culminations, adjustments, and very real-world consequences. At the same time, we are still integrating the Saturn-Neptune conjunction at 0 degrees Aries from February. The reset that marked the official beginning of a new era. And yet, and remember, Saturn-Neptune cycles, when they conjunct, every 36 years, but the one at 0 degrees Aries, not in 6,000 plus years. So, and yet, astrobutterfly.com, and yet, while the new era has technically begun, we are still processing the previous one. That's speaking again to Kiki's first initial comment, this wait, or, it's not here yet. Pisces energy is still strong in March, with several planets lingering in the last sign of the zodiac. This creates a very particular atmosphere, part closure, part ignition. We are standing with one foot in the ocean of the past and the other already on dry land. Then at the equinox on March 20th, things heat up quickly. On March 20th, we have a rare concentration of 6 planets in Aries. On March 3rd, 2026, we have a full moon and total lunar eclipse that just happened on yesterday, at 12 degrees Virgo. This is a South Node eclipse, bringing to culmination themes that have been running in the background. In Virgo, this can show up as outdated systems, perfectionist habits, or responsibilities that no longer make sense in the context of where we are heading. The eclipse is sextile, that's a harmonious aspect, Jupiter. So despite the usual intensity associated with eclipse season, there is support available. There is a bigger framework that makes the adjustments easier to understand. Not everything that ends is a loss. Some things simply need to be reorganized. I love that statement. Not everything that ends is a loss. Sometimes it's namaste. I bow to the divine in you. Thank you for for everything I learned and I received in that moment. Again, whether it's a person, a place, a thing, an experience, whatever it may be, not everything that ends is a loss. Some things simply need to be reorganized. This is the unseen, the universe, the divine, reorganizing us for the new, for this upgrade, for what's before us. Number 5 from the unseen, they said, in the coming days, ... Typically, in the coming days means it indicates when events or announcements or actions are expected to occur. It's number 5, it's about change. And the unseen said, in the coming days, ... They kind of left it. And then they said, A great purge will, underline, follow. So in the coming days, things are going to happen. Events, announcements, actions that are being driven by the unseen. We may see things, by humans, but this isn't speaking, this is about the unseen, higher power, higher octave. And then a great purge will follow. There's big energy here. There's big endings and new beginnings. We are at the precipice of all of this. And I want to go to our hexagram 8, which is that holding together, uniting, unite. And the first quote, holding together produces success. There's an image here of the astrological wheel of all of this, the music of the spheres, representing the unseen, the divine order, the divine will. Holding together produces success. See, when we stay in that octave of knowing, of harmony and balance, it produces success. And this is by divination.com. So hexagram 8. Holding together produces success. High-level teamwork is achieved when the right players on the right team share a clear goal at the right time. It's all speaking to divine timing, divine order, divine will. A team forms its relationships in a delicate manner. Chemistry is brewed in the vat of shared experience. A strong sense of unity and wholehearted commitment is required for team success. We're all in this together. We as individuals, you, your ego, mind, personality, human, your soul source connection, your soul, you're in it together. All successful teams have a shared vision and a good leader. This is about allowing the soul to lead and how the ego, mind, personality, human is in service, in unity and service to that effort. If its leader, or when its leader can rise to the challenge, the team will prosper. In political and business affairs, just as in basketball, this is our second quote, it is hard to win without a strong center. We need a very strong soul source connection, that innate wisdom of divine feminine energy, that knowing. It's hard to win without that strong center. Because when it's absent or out of balance, that's when the masculine can run roughshod. We haven't, the strength card, we haven't tamed that primal force. When we do, it's all powerful. It's in alignment, in harmony. It delivers us. Accept the structure of the team if you wish to receive its benefits. In the flow, I received my upgrade. Hands down, I made it through the rain. The Tower card. Accept the structure of the team if you wish to receive the benefits. Otherwise, go off on your own, in holding together with others or with oneself. Cling to your own principles, to your inner knowing, your inner wisdom, but be willing to subordinate personal desires, ego, mind, personality desires, when they compromise the good of the group or the good of the unity, what your soul is telling you to do. If you would like to become a leader, remember that to become the center of influence requires binding people together, which is a serious challenge and responsibility. It's about shining your light purely, authentically, in a way that inspires and uplifts people. It draws them together. Assess yourself carefully to see if you qualify for such a role. Are you ready? Are you willing? Are you in alignment? If not, it would be better to pass on the opportunity than for you to lead now without proper preparation. In due time and with the right experience, you could still become a quality leader in the future. This is all about readiness, preparedness, truth. Are we willing to look at ourselves? Are we willing, because this is the, the age of Aquarius, the Aquarian era, the matriarchal era, we the people era. It's about when we do things that are good, win-win. It's good for the populace, and in reciprocity, coming back to me, I receive. It's a direct inversion of where we've been. And lastly, it brings to quote 3. Sincerity is the foundation of all successful relationships. In a thirsty world, it is not the form of the water's container that matters. It's the contents. So it doesn't matter. The container's not the issue. It's the purity of the water. It's the purity of what's inside of you, what's inside of us. And when we collectively choose to shift octaves, to align, that ripples out. We hit a tipping point, and that tipping point is directly in alignment with divine time, will, and order. Because make no mistake, whether we're ready or not, when the as above, so below, when that tipping point occurs, the higher octave, the higher hand, the divine, God, the all that is, hits, ushers in the new, you'll either be in the flow with it, so it's a positive tower, or you won't be, and it will be a shadow tower. Either way, it's going to happen. Be on the receiving, be in the flow, be in the receiving end of coming in together, in harmony with as above, so below. Number 6, from the unseen, they said, picking up, quote, the mantle of peace, we help both ourselves and others. So picking up the mantle of peace, we help both ourselves and others. This is about the 6 of Wands as well, that celebration, that homecoming. When we pick up that mantle of peace, and the mantle in the 6 of Wands, you see this beautiful green mantle over the horse. That's prosperity and abundance and limitless manifestation and creation. It's verdant, abundant. So picking up the mantle of peace, which is blue, it's the color blue, but they're indicating it's the color of royalty and so forth, divinity. So when we pick up the mantle of peace, we help both ourselves and others. And then they said, peace be with you. Peace be with you, as they have shown us. Yes, it's a greeting, but it was also a statement. After the resurrection, Master Jesus, entering a locked room, said to the apostles, the remaining apostles, peace be with you. It was a statement that the divine, the unseen, your soul source connection, is ever present. Nothing can keep it out. A locked door. Nothing can prevent it from entering, from being with us, being with you. And so that is this, to pick up the mantle of peace, to pick up the mantle of our divinity, helps ourselves and others. Now let's go to etherealculture.com. This is Juliana McCarthy, the astrologer, and she's speaking Virgo, total lunar eclipse, reckoning and release. Pardon me. On Tuesday, yesterday, a total lunar eclipse forms in Virgo, bringing culmination, reckoning, and release. Virgo is the sign of harvest. This is that the tabulation of our accounts and everything. So, and the reaping what you sow. So Virgo is the sign of harvest. She represents the measurable outcome of how well we have tended to our resources, routines, and daily rhythms. This eclipse is asking us to take inventory. Habits, systems, and obligations that have quietly operated in the background are stepping into the light for evaluation. Revealing what's been hidden brings clarity. Compliments of the unseen. Where have we optimized outer performance while neglecting the inner life that sustains it? So in other words, have we been, giving away our power? Have we been making less than great choices and they're going to come to us? Or have we made good choices? How are we operating from what sustains us, which is our soul source connection, our connection to the divine? Forming on the south node, this eclipse is triggering karmic clearing. It's destiny and fate. We are ready to dissolve outdated structures, inherited obligations, and patterns of control that once felt necessary, but now feel constrictive. Meanwhile, Mercury has turned retrograde in Pisces, and a stellium there, many planets, saturates the atmosphere with fog. The line between truth and illusion feels perilously thin. Projection, confusion, and collective overwhelm are real. Luckily, Virgo is the antidote. She calls us back to discernment, to what is verifiable, embodied, and quietly functional. She calls us back to our soul source connection, our knowing. We need to mind the details and return to the intelligence of our bodies and subtle awareness, our emotional intelligence, our knowing. Now is the time to enter stillness, refining our intuition and really listening to it. The trick is not to allow our anxiety or spinny minds to get the best of us, our primal force, that strength card. Virgo can overanalyze, and the planets are now helping us find the balance between feeling sharp and spacious. If we have been striving towards certain goals without ever quite reaching them, this lunation may reveal the gap between our vision and execution. All of this is interweaving back to Kiki's original comment. It's inviting us to adjust our method rather than abandon the dream itself. The lunar eclipse is supported by a sextile to Jupiter in Cancer, the sign where he is exalted. Jupiter in Cancer expands what protects and nourishes us. Even amid geopolitical escalation and widespread uncertainty, something protective is rising. There's that kite formation. There's Isis and her sister Nephthys. There's something protective, ensuring our resurrection, our elevation, our deliverance. Family, close friends, home, and genuine community are becoming increasingly important sanctuaries. As the moon turns red in the sky, we are asked to release what has outlived its purpose and recommit to what is truly growing. The fog of this season is undeniable, but so is the clarity waiting on the other side of an honest reckoning. We are ready for great momentum. This is how we prepare for it. As the Earth's shadow crosses the moon, may we see more clearly what is genuinely working in our lives and find the courage to release what is not. May we trust our discernment, tending to what nourishes us, while meeting this threshold with clear eyes and open hearts. Again, this was from Juliana McCarthy at etherealculture.com. So there's this beautiful moment of where we are, of just bringing them up, endurance, of being in the flow. And that to the main theme, this transformation, the light at the end of the tunnel, we're right there. We are there. And how strength, the magician, the Six of Wands, and from last week's show, the Three of Wands. This is about our ships coming in, or the seeds that we planted long ago are coming back, are coming to us. This tabulation of our accounts, this receiving before we plant anew, or you may be planting them right now. But it's because there's an accelerated advance. Things are going to speed up. When all of those interpersonal planets enter Aries, and that stellium in Aries, first sign of the zodiac, fire, major planets moving into fire and air signs, things are going to rapidly advance or accelerate. And yes, the tower. Let it be a proactive tower for you, a breakthrough, not a breakdown. This is where we find ourselves. And let me just close out. I'm going to really quickly bring in Astrology by Lauren, a total lunar eclipse in Virgo on March 3rd. She begins with a quote by Pema Chodron. What if, rather than being disheartened by the ambiguity, the uncertainty of life, we accepted it and relaxed into it? I'm just marveling at the unseen and how every piece of this I couldn't possibly know what Kiki's main comment was going to be. And the synchronicity, her presence to be here, and how this is intricately interwoven, every aspect of this, of the energies of this full moon total lunar eclipse in Virgo, is speaking to everything that she commented on. This frustration, this will it ever occur? When will it happen? And yet everything is speaking to us about, well, what if rather than being disheartened by the ambiguity, the uncertainty of life, we accepted it and relaxed into it. We stayed in alignment with soul source connection. We trusted in the power of the unseen, and we aligned with that power. And that keeps us centered and focused. That tames our primal force. So, Astrology by Lauren. If you are feeling the angst, speed, and unexpected distractions and detours in your own life, snowstorms or otherwise, know that yes, we are also in the middle of eclipse season. And eclipse season made all the more chaotic by a series of squares, confrontational aspects in astrology, from Uranus, higher mind, expect the unexpected, to that bunch of planets that had been transiting Aquarius. And that included the recent solar eclipse in Aquarius on February 17th. The last of these Uranus squares occurs on this coming Friday, when Mars perfects its square. Mars will then conjunct the solar eclipse point at 28 degrees Aries, 56 arc minutes, this weekend. So this weekend coming up. Mars is a planet of action and motivation, and so has the capacity to act as a catalyst for all that pent-up eclipse Uranian energy. Can we expect even more chaos, or perhaps some sort of breakthrough? Whenever we are dealing with Uranian weather, we are best advised to be flexible and pace ourselves. Things can move really quickly and change on a dime when we are visited by Uranus. Uranus weather arises quickly and unexpectedly. It is fast, electric, innervating, and spontaneous. Mars-Uranus is notorious for explosive events, whether actual or metaphorical. Mars-Uranus weather can be illuminating, if not shocking, and that can be literal. Contrast that with the recent Mercury retrograde station in Pisces. We are being beckoned to withdraw from all the chaos in our lives, hang up our out to lunch sign at the door, and go within. This is about where we tame the primal force. It's the strength card. From chaos to retreat, we are being advised to find some silent and sacred place within which we can meditate, reflect, and connect with ourselves. That's the only way that we know what the next step is, and we stay out of chaos, illusion, delusion, falling down the rabbit hole. We stay and we take the next proactive, positive, pure step. Astrology by Lauren. For it is when things are most hectic that we are needing to take the most care of ourselves, our minds. All the more so when we take into consideration that the total lunar eclipse is in a Mercury-ruled sign, Virgo, bringing all things Mercury to the foreground. It is a south nodal lunar eclipse, meaning the moon is conjunct the south node, which implies a shedding, a release, or a letting go to more fully embrace the north node in Pisces, which is currently conjunct the sun, our life force. Rather than getting caught up in the chaos, we are being asked to reassess, reflect, and rethink our current circumstances and the direction we are headed. The total lunar eclipse in Virgo on March 3rd is bringing closure to what may have felt like a very chaotic and at times stressful eclipse season. Going within and trusting our own inner guides can help us to get back on track, not only with our lives, but even our own destiny. This is a total eclipse, meaning that this is one of those magical times in which the sun, moon, and earth are in perfect alignment. It is because of this perfect alignment that this eclipse is so significant, especially when it is so close to the south node where so much karmic releasing is occurring. Lunar eclipses are times of culmination, of endings. It's about reaping, not sowing. They show us the ramifications of choices and decisions made in the past and what we can do about them now. Celeste Teal tells us in her book entitled Eclipses that the south node, or the dragon's tail, is indicative of our comfort zone. It is what we are accustomed to, but not always what is best for us. As a result, we are not always objectively aware of why we are experiencing certain events. The lunar eclipse is trying to show us what it is that we need to change, release, or let go of to grow and further evolve. Thus, it is not uncommon, as a result, for these South Node eclipses to be associated with endings or completion. But remember, not all endings are bad. Because this is a total eclipse where we see this perfect alignment between the sun, spirit, the moon, soul, and the earth, the body, it seems to allow the Norns, the fates of Norse mythology, to step in and weave their tapestries. This allows them to move the pieces about, chess, not checkers, moving the pieces about on the playing board of life. And this is why it can sometimes feel like we are having a meeting with destiny. It may seem as if we are being inexorably drawn along on the tide, and there is nothing to be done at these times but to move through to the other side, be in the flow, and accept the lot that has been being handed to us. And because there is this added element of fate, or the fruition of karma, thrown into the equation, these periods feel unpredictable. But also know that these eclipses are ultimately in service towards the evolutionary progress of humankind, as well as for each of us individually. And what we receive within the bounds of these eclipse seasons is necessary for our soul's journey. For this reason, these eclipses can serve as turning points in our lives. It's all purposeful. It may be jarring. It may be that we have to uproot ourselves or take a leap of faith or have great fortitude and trust, endurance. But be in the flow. Lastly, number 7, before I get to Olivia and Colleen's comments. Number 7 from the unseen, they said, open the doors and windows before you. A new day, a new era dawns. 7 is about the completion, divine completion, fulfillment, the divine promise. It's the foundation of God's word. Open the doors and windows before you. Walk through them. Be willing, be open, be receptive, be in the flow. Be willing to receive your upgrade. Hands down, we make it through the rain. It's about transformation, the light at the end of the tunnel. And I just want to say, Olivia is speaking about, we create the world around us via our own consciousness. If we fear, we add to the things that seem to go wrong because our energy feeds it. When we disbelieve the news and fall in with it, we add to it. If we know the unseen is with us, the divine is with us, and we disbelieve there is more than one power, then we are manipulated by that. The war we fight is only within our own consciousness. Be peaceful. There's that beautiful be peaceful. Picking up the mantle of peace, we help both ourselves and others. And Olivia is saying, be peaceful, be still, and don't give energy to the lies and what seems to be going on outside of us. Exactly. Thank you, Olivia. So beautiful. Kiki, Olivia, everyone contributing. Thank you. It is this mantle of peace, this presence, this powerful presence within you, within us, that delivers us. And it will be, again, regardless, there's a divine will, time, and order, as above, so below, that is orchestrating all of these events perfectly. Are we in alignment with it? When we are in the flow, we receive our upgrade. Hands down, we made it through the rain. It's about the strength in the magician. It's about the 6 of wands, the 3 of wands. It's about accelerated advance. It's about the tower. It's about in the coming days. And a great purge will come or will follow. Open the doors and windows. Be in alignment with your soul source connection. Listen to your intuitive knowing, your inner wisdom. That is your soul. That is the divine. That is the all that is, guiding us, guiding you. Can't wait to see where this all goes next. And we will see you. Thank you for everything, your presence, your comments, your energy, everything. I specifically asked for this. for this episode, and you all showed up so masterfully, so beautifully, so purely. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you all, and we will see you next week.